All right, everyone. So today I am going to restart my series, which is focused on teaching you what I feel like every young adult needs to know regarding personal finance. And I had talked about it before. I knew it was going to be a big undertaking because there's a lot of topics to cover. We got to start with the basics and then build up from there. And here's the thing. What I had planned to do is to kind of do this, a couple of 1 or 2 videos a week and kind of spread it out throughout the year. The problem was busy season got in the way, and so I know I haven't posted anything in the last couple of months. So bear with me. I'm back and I plan on doing these videos and resuming the rhythm. So thank you for your patience. Now, before I go any further, if you are getting value out of my content, please do 3 things for me. Like this video, subscribe to the channel, and tell your friends, because there are so many people that need to know this information. There's a lot of the financial education is lacking in this country, and I want to do my part to help solve that problem. So you see on here, budgets suck. And I use that title because most people view budgets as they suck. And they say, well, why, and you might be like, well, why do they suck? They suck because a lot of people view them as being restrictive. They view them as like, oh, you're telling me what I can and can't do with my money. Here's the problem. To me, the budget is a blueprint. And I think a lot of people get caught up in the mechanics of the budget, but we miss the big picture. Here's the big picture, is you have your goals. You have your goals. Your goals are going to be focused on, you're going to have your short-term, you're going to have your short-term goals, you're going to have your medium-term goals, and your long-term goals. And when I think about short-term, maybe this is like an emergency fund. And maybe your medium term is like you're saving for a house. And then longer term might be retirement. Sorry, my handwriting's a little sloppy, but so again, we have different levels of goals. Everyone is going to have financial goals, and those goals are very personal. But what you have to do is you have to set these, because that is, think of it as your vision. You have a vision, and you have a vision. Maybe it's you want to retire early. Maybe you want to retire on the beach. Maybe it's this. You have a vision, and then from that you have your goals. And these are your goals, and you need to have some that are short-term, medium, and long-term. You have to have that vision. Like you have to lay those out, because this drives your budget, and that's the problem. People focus on the mechanics of the budget, but they don't realize the budget is the playbook that allows you to hit these goals. Now, it's not the only thing, because you have to learn how to invest. You have to learn to invest well and invest in a way that suits you, that will allow you to grow your portfolio. But at the end of the day, when you're contributing to your account and you're figuring out, okay, I need to contribute $300 a month to this for this goal and $500 a month for this goal, this is what that says. The budget then becomes the how. Like, how do I execute? This is your why. The budget becomes your how. And this is what you have to remember. The budget, let me squint down here and write it. The budget that you make and that you execute on, and this is your plan, will feed into this. It feeds into your goals. This is what you want. This is what you want. This is why you need the budget. It may not be fun, and I get it. Some people might like it. Maybe you build your fancy Excel sheet. But I'm here to tell you, this is why you need to budget. Now, people might say, well, how do I do it? How do I budget? How do I tackle this problem? How do I budget? And the way I would do it, you can do it here's the thing. Do what works for you. Now, what do I mean by that? What do I mean? I mean, if you like pen and paper, if you like spreadsheets or apps, if whatever works for you, that's what you should do in terms of how to set up a budget. This is what you figure this out. Because again, it doesn't matter. What matters, the most important thing is, number one, you execute on the budget and you're willing to make adjustments. It's realistic. It's a plan that you can execute. Number two, it feeds into your goals. That's what you have to do. And so that is important. That's important to remember. And so the way I do it is we need to first lay out our income. So we lay out our income, all of our income. And let's actually, I don't even want to do a dotted line here. I don't even want to do a dotted line. Let's put a dollar amount in here. And let's say you make $5,000 a month. Now, could we get caught up in, well, do I need to include Social Security and stuff out of my paycheck? If you're self-employed, yes, you will need to factor in taxes more so, but that's up to you. Whether you start pre-tax, which is, your gross pay, or you start after all of your stuff is taken out, that's perfectly fine. You just want to make sure that, like if your 401k contributions are being taken out of your paycheck, that you have accounted for that, and you don't want to double dip on your savings goal if you're already doing some of that in your workplace plan. So just remember this, and just be cognizant of it, and however you want to start. But ultimately what you want to focus on are making sure that your savings goals are first. If I can write goals, that would be nice. So maybe you have an emergency fund, and maybe you want to put like $200 into that. And maybe you want to put retirement, and you have $500. And maybe you have long-term savings, like you're saving for a house or something, down the line. Maybe you put $500 in there. Make sure that before anything else, make sure that all of this is covered. So in other words, now you're down to $3,800. And I'm sorry, this is all crooked. I'm trying to bend in here and do it. But yeah, we start with our income, and then we take it down. Get the goals out of the way first, because you know why? If you hit these and you do these, it makes it a heck of a lot easier to budget this. You know why? Because I don't have to worry about, oh my gosh, I didn't save enough this month. No, you did. You did. You did this. You got the goals out of the way. That's the key. Get the goals out of the way. Now, the other thing too is you may have goals like debt pay down, like you want to pay off your credit card debt and stuff. Go ahead and factor that in there. Just make sure that the main goals you're covering first. And then with the remaining 3,800, break it down. You have your food. Let me bend in here and do this. You have your food. Maybe you have your rent. Maybe you have your car note. Maybe you have gas. The list could go on and on and on and on and on. Okay? And then what you should get is hopefully down to a zero-based budget. I do like that approach because this accounts for all of your spending. Now, what I would tell you is the type of categories that you have here, be realistic. My thought is this: try to categorize so that you can get good, you want to see some detail, but you don't want to see too much. I don't think that, for groceries, maybe for food, you have food and eating out as two separate line items. But for example, I would not have a separate line item for paper goods, like toilet paper and stuff. You're going to buy those at the grocery store, or you're buying them on Amazon. Like, I would not sit here and say, oh my gosh, well, I need to have a separate item for paper goods. I wouldn't do that. Like, I don't think you need to go to that level of detail. You can if you want, but you don't need to. So it's just, that's something to keep in mind, is the categories that you decide for your budget are completely up to you. But again, the ideal goal is when you start organizing everything like this, and you figure out what you spent on food, you'll be able to adjust your budget. You might realize when you first make your budget, hey, oh my gosh, I'm over budget on food by $100. Well, then next month, increase it by $100. Make the adjustments and make sure that if you're adjusting here, that you're taking out somewhere else. That's what a budget will do. And this is how I would do it. And again, you can use an app, like why you need a budget, or you can use Personal Capital. Mint will do it. Any of those will do. And you could even use one that I like is Tiller. That's a good one. You can use Personal Capital. I think I just said that one already. But yeah, you can, if you want, you can use your own spreadsheet, pen and paper, and do it that way. But at the end of the day, you want to get where you're accounting for all of your expenses on a budget. And the other thing that you'll have to do is, once you set this budget, you got to execute on it. So maybe you automate this and have that come out no matter what. And then this stuff you work on and you manage that. Because if this is automated, it makes it a lot easier to manage all this. So that's my thought. And that's how I would recommend making a budget, is again, lay out your categories, make sure the most important things are always taken care of. And maybe even things like rent and all that you want to add as to the top of the list, because obviously you want to pay those or bad things happen. So put those at the top, and then just go down the list of all your expenses, and you will figure out what you need to cut, what you can add, so on and so forth. And it may come that you need to increase your income, and maybe that's what comes of it. And so again, the budget will help tell you all this. So hopefully you got value out of this video. Again, like what I've gone over is kind of help to understand that, yes, while budgets suck, they help you figure out like how to execute your longer term goals. It's one piece of the puzzle. And also how to lay out a budget. And I know I did a video on this before, but I didn't feel like I did it justice. So I really wanted to go in here and cover it again. So hopefully this one does a better job of it. And if you guys have any questions, always feel free to leave questions in the comments. You can also DM me or comment on Instagram. My Instagram handle is mdeep. It's MDEEPECPA. Or Twitter. I'm also big on Twitter. Feel free to find me there. It's mdeep_. There's a little underscore CPA. You guys have a fantastic day.